Welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler-free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the second part of Volume 77, Smile, which covers chapters 770 through 775. My name is Joel. I'll be your host. Joining me today, we have Evan.
Hello.
And we have Cody.
This guy said, no, I'll never do another 12-chapter volume again, but there's just too much good story for him not to. So here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, we'll see how quickly we can get through this and not drag on too long so we can get through the episode at a reasonable pace, but we'll see what we can do. All right. So before we do dive into these 6 chapters, here's a little recap for where we left off. Upon learning Law was a D, Corazon instructed Law not to tell anyone else about this. He was secretly working with the Navy as a commander behind Doflamingo's back with the intention of capturing him. Corazon convinced Law to join him as he traveled from island to island, searching for a cure for his disease. None of the hospitals were able to help, but Corazon became hopeful upon learning that a pirate crew was going to make a deal with the Navy to sell the Elbaph fruit. Corazon managed to sneak in and steal it, then feed it to Law. Unfortunately, Corazon did not make it out unscathed and received several fatal gunshot wounds. Doflamingo learned of his brother's betrayal and intended to steal the fruit for himself, but arrived too late. Corazon hid Law in a chest while he confronted Doflamingo. Doflamingo pulled the trigger, killing his brother while Law was able to escape. Back in the present, Law continued to battle Doflamingo. Things took a turn when Doflamingo pins Law down and slices his arm off. Meanwhile, Luffy's battle with Bellamy continues. Yes, that was a crazy set of chapters that we already covered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Lots of good stuff.
All right, so let's get with the next part of the cover story. With the solitary journey of Jinbei First of the Sea, Volume 17, discovered a huge mound of offerings. Jinbei was able to track down where these stolen offerings were left, along with the culprit.
I love this perfect silhouette.
The only thing that's like shadowed out.
Yeah, but it's like perfectly black, and there's like stuff. It's holding something.
Yeah,
I love it. It's just like, nope, you're gonna have to wait.
based on Jinbei's reaction, I'm thinking it's probably a fish of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has a little fish speech bubble.
Fish.
Yeah. Fish.
Something's fishy around here. I think I already made that joke.
Very nice.
So, Evan, at this point, did you have any guesses?
No, I did not.
Okay.
This was a reveal.
Yeah, because I don't think I have any idea who this would have been at this point either. So
No,
I
did not guess it. I did not guess it.
I did not.
all right, but we will find out later in the episode, so we'll come back to that. For now, we'll move on to chapter 770, the Spear of Elbaph. Luffy is reluctant to fight Bellamy, but Bellamy does not share the sentiment as he lands a punch on Luffy's stomach. As Zoro attempts to fight Pika, Olympus helps keep the grunts off of Zoro, while Dellinger fights Ideo. Size is confused when staring down Baby 5, and she begs him to just admit his feelings for her. Hadrudin struggles to fight against Mach Vice, and his weight seems to be too much. Determined to pull his own weight, Hadrudin lands a punch on the falling 10,000-ton Mach Vice, sacrificing his body as the bones in his right arm and leg shatter. The sacrifice is not in vain as Mach Vice is defeated. All right, so thoughts on the Luffy versus Bellamy part 2?
I'm loving this. I feel like it's just cool, like seeing the parallels between Bellamy and Luffy, like both hard-headed, literally and figuratively. They both like speak with their fists, and here they're having a little conversation with their fists. But they're just like, I feel like they have a lot of similarities, and they're at different points in their journey.
What you said makes me wonder if the situation was reversed, would Luffy be willing to stand down? He's saying for Bellamy to stop it, and like he's trying to convince him, like, "Hey, Mingo betrayed you. There's no reason for me to fight you." If it was like a reverse situation, and Luffy was like on that side, would he be willing to stand down, like, or would he like want to fight through his convictions too?
The latter.
Yeah, latter.
Just like Bellamy. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, they're both hard headed. So yeah, I understand why Bellamy wouldn't stand down because I also think Luffy would, do the same thing.
Yep.
Well, also sucks because like Luffy also really understands what it's like to idolize somebody, given
Yeah.
like all the love he has had for Shanks. So like while Luffy does like have like the factual, hey man, like you don't need to do this. Like Doflamingo was an asshole, and that's the difference between like our situations. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure Luffy can like just instinctively like, get behind like where Belly's coming from, and
Yeah.
yeah.
At the same time, I feel like Luffy, one of the major differences with Luffy and Bellamy is I feel that Luffy wouldn't blindly follow somebody and
Mhm.
like if like Shanks, for example, betrayed him, I don't see Luffy continuing to idolize Shanks. I think he'd be like, Shanks was not the person I thought he was. I'm still gonna be me. Like I feel like he wouldn't be following Shanks if he felt Shanks was no longer like a good pirate. So if like Luffy learns something about Shanks where it's like, hey, he's a bad guy, it's like I feel Luffy wouldn't go down the path be like, no, it's Shanks, so I'll do whatever he says.
I feel like it's hard to like imagine Luffy like attuning that strongly to someone who wasn't like the kind of person worth following, you know? Just given
Right.
what
Yeah.
we see, like the way he reads people and who he surrounds himself with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's a good judge of character.
Evan, did you have something else?
No, I was just gonna say we were seeing his use of hardening hockey or armament hockey here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know if have we seen that yet?
Not from
Have we seen
Bellamy, I
him
don't
use
think.
hockey?
Unless he did in the Coliseum, I don't remember.
Me either.
But he's learning some new tricks.
Yeah, we can tell that he's definitely progressed.
Yep.
He has a good hit on Luffy too.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy does manage to use his own armament hockey to help shield it, but the strength of the move actually still causes Luffy to like spit blood. So
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to Bellamy for that hit.
Solid.
Speaking of making progress, we got Zoro in the next scene holding his own against the stone colossus.
Yep. The Pika versus Zoro continues.
Expected nothing less from my boy.
I am intrigued and honestly confused by this by Orlumbus here.
Yeah.
The Commodore Dignity of Tan Hut. Like I just I'm sure that's part of the joke is like the fact that they listen to it all, but I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Why, Oda?
Yeah.
How does this work? I need answers, damn it. The bowling's great, but how?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same kind of reaction to the scene where I went over it a few times to be like, wait, am I reading this correctly? What exactly is happening? But I think it is like maybe he's just like so commanding that they instinctively like obey his like command, where it's like attention. So then they all kind of like do like their standing up straight, or I don't know if it's like some kind of like I don't think he's using some kind of like Supreme King hockey or anything like that. I think it's just like they feel like they have to go along with it, and they're kind of confused. Like, wait, what am I doing? Like, I just kind of felt like I had to go along with it.
It's the bulbul fruit. The bulbul fruit.
They have to be the pins.
They have to, because it's a devil fruit power.
I just thought like maybe this is in the same family as like Django's hypnosis from all the way back in like Syrup Village. Like the
Or
colors trap that well, okay, not the colors trap because like, that just gets completely magic and but like yeah, that sort of hypnosis thing.
Yeah, it's like always interesting when there's non-devil fruit powers because they do exist, and I feel like sometimes it's easy to forget that there's non-devil
Mhm.
fruit powers in the world of One Piece. So sometimes they are just gonna pop up, and you kind of like, oh, that's weird how that works. Okay, but that's a thing. So yeah, it's always fun when there's like a little something different.
Yeah.
But we do get this little information here that Orlumbus says that if they were at sea, he would marshal the forces of the Yonta Maria fleet to come to their aid. But he's on the land, so like this isn't really his strong suit. But he does have like a fleet. That's kind of where his power is. So it's interesting to see like this type of character in One Piece too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You don't
It's
get a
like
lot of sea battles.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we know like Whitebeard had like his own fleet. Yeah, like you said, we don't really see a lot of these battles at sea, so that doesn't really come into play that much.
That's so true.
Like there's a moment where Pika's laughing and then he starts to say something, and Zoro yells at him for the laugh. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? Are you laughing?
Like Zoro's speech probably overlaps Pika's
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah. Just surprised it sounded so stupid.
I do really like the Charleston panel of like all the rock spikes coming out and Zoro just leaping on top of it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
so cool. I mean, Pika's such a cool character visually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Oda's really, chewing the scenery here.
Yeah,
It is cool as we go through this chapter seeing that like all these people that we've met in the Coliseum are backing the Straw Hats up and fighting against all the different Don Quixote family officers.
Yeah.
There's a part of me it's also like, man, if the other half of the Straw Hats were here, like who would be fighting who? What would the map chips be?
Yeah.
It's like there's like a little trade-off of like, okay, cool, well, this is really neat world building, and we're seeing like just like all these different corners come there, but it's like I miss Nami and Chopper and Sanji now.
I know.
There's been a few volumes without him, you know?
For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, that was a good point. Something I didn't really think about until you just mentioned it. But yeah, because Oda is devoting this time to these other characters, normally these types of fights would have been dedicated to the other Straw Hats. So by writing the Straw Hats out, he's giving spotlight to these other characters that we don't really get to focus on, like these kind of
Mhm.
secondary characters. So
I mean, I feel like there's like something about like the way Dressrosa, like the pieces that are like firmly in place with Dressrosa and the conflicts we've seen with like Dofi and Rebecca and Law and the Flashback Corazon and everybody, where I'm like, if those other Straw Hats were here, would they have been able to get much relevance outside of just like, oh, we'll give them the fight? Not really, and that I think that's what makes me okay with the decision.
yeah,
Is the fact that it's
Mhm.
yeah, and I don't have any complaints with that either because he doesn't need to be like, oh, I need to devote several pages now to this fight I have to resolve. It's like, oh, I could do this like little fight that's not super significant, but I can take a few panels here just to show, like Bellinger and like Adeo. It's like it doesn't have to be like this whole big thing. Whereas if I guess like a Straw Hat, maybe he would have had to spend more time like on some of these fights. So it's more of like a way to kind of again keep things moving while still building these characters and making these fights relevant in a way, but not like too much of the focus.
Yeah, and I feel like this is really Law's arc too, and like Law's kind of like the newish addition to the Straw Hat, so he's kind of getting like center stage, which I'm loving. I mean, no
Yeah.
complaints.
it's pretty great.
Yeah.
So Evan, since we did get a tragic backstory for Law, what do you think that means for his future with the Straw Hats?
I don't know, man. I think everyone's getting a tragic backstory at this point. We get some in this volume that I never
We
thought
do.
we would have
Yeah.
gotten.
Yeah, yeah. So ready for that.
Yep.
But no, I hope Law's here to stay. I'm a big fan.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel like he's been the main character for a minute now too. Like I don't see him just like being like, all right, bye.
Okay, cool.
I can see it. I can see it and I want to see it. But
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna say any more than that. So
I think Law's the kind of person that answers to nobody though. So we'll see.
we'll see. And how do you guys feel about this interaction with Baby Five and Sai?
Love it. Big fan.
Very silly. Love it.
There's like a little bit of this like misunderstanding where Baby Five is like projecting in this way that like because like she wants to feel needed, and like Sai was saying these things and she was misinterpreting it as like him showing like affection. So she completely got the wrong idea and thinks that Sai is like in love with her. And she's like, just admit it, like you need me. Like and he's like, what are you talking about? What gave you that idea?
I think sparks are flying. There's love in the air.
I'm here for it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, sparks are the only thing flying as Mach Vice is able to go up in the air.
Nice.
And then, yeah, he comes down, which this is pretty crazy.
This is epic.
10,000 tons.
It's fucking
That's wild.
the hell. £1,000,000. That's insane.
Plus
200.
gravity. This punch is epic though. The spirit of Elbaph is real.
Yeah, he even gets the
Felt
chapter
in this
named after him.
punch. Yep.
Yeah, like this is pretty brutal though. I feel bad for Hadruden,
Mhm.
but he does commit to this, and he does end up defeating Mark Weiss, though his body does take a heavy toll because we can see like the bones like shattering uh
Yeah,
from his arm
brutal.
and leg. But he did take this massive blow, and he manages to send Mark Weiss flying into the air.
So satisfying. The full page punch and then the following page with the mock vice just getting yeeted is so satisfying.
Oh, the upper one with like the shield breaking and everything. Yes,
Yeah,
amazing.
so good. Oh yeah, and right into the bird cage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it.
It's like the little splash. Ugh,
Yeah,
brutal.
through the cheese grater.
And I like
Sean
how
was saying he.
That
go
guy
ahead.
is deli meat now.
I think Sean was saying he really liked Hadruden when he was on with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm sure he appreciated this moment.
epic.
And I like how after Hadruden passes out, Zoro says, "Sleep tight, and when you wake, the cage will be gone."
Yeah,
He's got that
Badass.
confidence.
real recognizes real. That's sick. We love it.
Okay. Anything else in this one?
I'm good.
Okay, so we're gonna move right along. Chapter 771, Sai, Dawn of the Happosui Army. King Isabella offers to lend his aid to Zoro, but Zoro tells him to save his punch for later. Don Chinjiao is distracted by Sai and Baby Five's conversation as Lao Ji pummels him. Chinjiao opposes Sai marrying Baby Five as he's already betrothed, but Sai doesn't care who he marries. Baby Five is overeager to be useful as Sai puts her resolve to the test as he jokingly tells her to die for him. She smiles as she puts her gun to her head, shocking Sai that she was going to do it. Sai tells her not to, but Chinjiao chastises him for going easy on the enemy. Baby Five has abandonment issues as her own mother left her to die because she considered her useless and just another mouth to feed. Sai stands up to Chinjiao, who tries to attack Baby Five, breaking his drill-shaped head in the process. Chinjiao is proud of Sai, acknowledging that he's achieved true strength and grants him the title of Don of the Happosui Army, and grants him his blessing to marry anyone he chooses. LG hasn't kicked the bucket yet and lands a blow on the unsuspecting Chinjiao. Angry, Sai unleashes his power on Lao Ji, knocking him out. All right, what do you guys think of this chapter?
What a volume! What a chapter for Sai. I mean,
Insane.
unlocks
Who'da
new
thought?
power, gets promoted, gets married. Like, wow, what a sequence!
His whole life like goes on its trajectory right here,
Yeah.
right now.
Yep. Also, Lao Ji, so good. Absolutely hilarious. The breaking of the fourth wall again, where
Yep.
we see his soul leave his body.
Yes.
And at first you're like, oh, that's funny. And then Oda breaks the fourth wall, and like the characters are also are seeing what the reader is seeing. I love when he does that. Like, so good. And this was great and very effective and very funny.
Yeah. I thought this was hilarious. This really worked for me as well.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
pain stance.
Yeah.
Immortal Warriors.
pain
joint
stance.
pain. The power of being an old man is just so stupid. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oda really had fun with this one. Maybe even like
Yeah.
makes the letter G with his palms all the time. It's
Yeah.
very
Did
random.
you-
It's very random, but it works together really well.
Did you notice he makes a G-shaped mark in Don when he
Yeah.
hits him?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So when Lao Ji goes super mode, he punches Don Chinjiao, and then Don Chinjiao goes flying into the wall and has a huge G on his chest.
Oh, yep. You're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So good.
Yeah, like the scenes with the like Lao Ji, you're playing up like the old man gag was really funny here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like, everybody else is like, the peanut gallery over here is saying like they're ignoring Lao Ji, he's gonna be so mad, but like he couldn't hear what was going on. He's like, what? What do you guys say?
What?
Yeah, and then like you guys are saying like just a panel of like his soul just leaving his body, and there was like who thought the fight was gonna go like this? Like he just died like due to natural causes in the middle of the fight, like
Yeah.
and he's able to pull his soul back in. Like like barely, but yeah, he's hanging on like by a thread.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
like this is a One Piece in such such a great way.
Yeah. This whole chapter is pure comedy. Save Baby Five's heart wrenching backstory
Yes.
again.
Oh God.
God.
Like it's really disturbing how Baby Five is so willing to put the gun to her head with that big smile on her face, and it's like it's jarring to see. Like she's like, "All right, yeah, I'll do. I'll pull the trigger," and then like he's like, "Wait, no, no, don't do that." Like I was just kind of like testing to see, like, yeah, I was just kind of joking around. Like he didn't think that she would actually go that far, but he's underestimating how much trauma she's experienced before to cause her to get
Yeah.
to this point.
Yeah. Really tragic.
And like Oda's kind of made this this gag where Baby Five is overeager to try to be useful, and like she's like if anybody asks for things like she'll try to give it to them. But this stems from her mom basically being like, "Stay here. I'm just gonna abandon you. Like you're on your own. Like you're not useful. Like you're just a waste of like life." Which that would mess up a kid to be like abandoned and like being told that like you don't matter. And yeah, so now she's kind of overcompensating by trying to be as useful as possible to not be in that situation. It's almost like Koala, how
Mhm.
when she was with the fishmen, like she was like, I had to prove to be useful, otherwise they might try to kill me. So it's like this kind of like ingrained like forced way of like doing labor to try to be useful in order to try to survive. So
Right.
Baby Five's afraid that if she doesn't do this, and like she might be killed.
Which really doesn't seem to be helped by the Don Quixote family at all. Because
Yep.
does Lao say, "Oh, you, how could you do this? We love her." No, it's you see how useful she is.
Right.
It's
She's
she
just a
was
tool.
perfect for them because she had the trauma that they needed to make the best use of her.
Yeah. I do like Sai standing up for her though, where he
Mhm.
upon seeing this, his reaction is to even fight against Chen Zhao,
Yeah.
who he has like a pretty realistic approach to it, but he sees her as the enemy. So it's like this is like a battle they're trying to win. But Sai is seeing this as a person who has undergone trauma, and he's respecting her as a person. He doesn't really know her that well, but he doesn't want her to like kill herself. So we see him stand up to Chen Zhao and Evan. What was your reaction to the head breaking again?
The drill breaking again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I couldn't believe it happened the second time. It looks so silly. Like it just looks so funny when he's with his like bent head.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Like a shitty wizard's hat.
Yeah, right. But it kind of drives home the point that he's like past his time has come and it's time to
Yeah.
pass the crown. You know.
Yep. I feel like he takes this incident better than he did the last time, though.
For sure.
Yeah, imagine if he swore vengeance on Sai's grandchildren.
Yeah,
Mm.
right.
Like it's like he, in the family. No, for him, he sees this as Sai he's passed the torch to Sai, and Sai can now take his role. And like you said, he's past his prime, so he doesn't need to use his power to access the treasure anymore. Sai has now proven that he also has the strength to do that, so he can kind of take his place, and he passes the army onto him because he's earned that with his power. So he's kind of showing, like, oh, you surpassed me. He's probably going to continue to surpass him at this point. So again, a big theme of One Piece is the next generation. So
Yeah.
this kind of feeds into that. It just happens to be
Yeah.
done in like one of the most comical ways that he could have.
But like you're saying, like with the inherited will, I feel like we see it being passed down here, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this scene has like a positive thing.
Yeah. Well, congrats to Sign Baby 5. I wish them a long, happy,
Yep.
like insanely chaotic marriage.
Well, hopefully Baby 5 will be in a better position. Because it seems like Sai will at least be more respectful than the Don Quixote family, who's again just been using her.
Yep.
Mhm. And he even comments on it. It seems like you were in a place where they forced you to stop doing that. So he's conscious of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think The only thing that I like was like, could this have been done differently? Was the just like the smack after the wheel. And again, like I know it's like to get her out of it, but I'm like,
Hmm.
there could have been another way. But like at the end of the day, it's not a make or break situation. It's
Yeah.
just like the one that like stop from being an A+ for me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Still
more
would
like
not.
he's like trying to smack some sense into her. But yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the trope. I'm like, it's like
Yeah.
it, I know it's not
Yeah.
always going over false and like calm down, woman. Fuck,
y-
like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you could just like there could have been another way, but
Yeah.
it's here or there.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We good to move on to the next chapter? You have any other thoughts on this one?
Eep.
Okay. Next up, we have The Solitary Journey of Jinbei First on the Sea, Volume 18. The giant monk, sea god Wadatsumi appears. No need to thank me. The thief was Wadatsumi.
Watsumi, sea god.
Well, that makes a little bit more sense now. But yeah, this is the silhouette that we saw.
Watsumi was with Blackbeard, or who's Watsumi
No, you think
allied
of
with?
San Juan Wolf,
Yeah.
Oh, where do we know Watsumi from? Where did we see Watsumi before?
Fishman Island with Hody.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one that Sanji and Jinbei like fought earlier.
Right.
So yeah, it seems like Wadatsumi is now kind of doing his own thing. But yeah.
Snacks.
So yeah, I wonder like was it like they just didn't have a prison big enough for him, or is it like did he like escape before they could get to him, or what's his deal? Like why is he out here? Not with the rest of like the Hody pirates or the new
I don't
fishmen.
know.
Just some things to consider.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the chapter. Chapter 772, Cabbage and Lomeo. Kairos faces off against Diamante on Flower Hill. He realizes that Kairos was the one-legged soldier, which would make him Scarlet's husband and Rebecca's father. As Diamante targets Rebecca, Kairos deflects the attack, determined to spare Rebecca from having to fight anymore. Below, Gladius uses his powers to cause the ground itself to bulge and burst. Cavendish begs Bartolomeo to let him into the barrier, which he does after some convincing. Gladius spots Robin making her way up to Flower Hill and tries to target her. Bartolomeo stops the blast with his barrier. Cavendish charges in on Gladius with Bartolomeo charging in as well after being pumped up after being thanked by Robin. Adale's fight with Dellinger takes a turn as Adale seems to have been defeated. Suddenly, Dellinger has been sliced by Cavendish, who has been taken over by the Hakuba persona.
Okay, this one's gonna take a second. No more one chapter fights.
Yeah.
I know, right?
No.
Just a bunch. Yeah, from the top. I really I get the intention behind Kiros's words to Rebecca, but I still wish like Rebecca were allowed a little more agency in this to stand up for herself in this situation. I think we
Same.
kind of talked about it a little bit last volume or last
Mhm.
episode.
Yeah, I mean, the way I read it is that, Kairos is a father who wants the best for his daughter, where
Totally.
he felt that he wasn't there for her
Hmm.
when she needed him. So I feel like he never wanted that life for her, and even when, again, we had the flashback scene where Rebecca was a baby, and he didn't wanna, like, touch her, with his hands because, like, he felt like his hands were bloody. So I think he kinda doesn't want Rebecca to get her hands bloody. I think he wants to try to preserve her innocence in a way. Like, "You don't
Yeah.
have to do this fighting, like, I've already done killing and stuff, so let me take that burden. Like, I don't want to put that burden on you." And I think he's trying to spare her from having to live that kind of life, and he wants her to be able to live a life of peace.
Yeah. Totally. I think that's a great
Yeah.
intention, and I think it's a very noble stance to take. But I also think that she's grown a lot since then, and should be able to, I don't know, make that decision on her own.
Yeah,
I
and,
agree.
like, I can see where you're also coming from, where it's like she's a capable fighter and, she does have some skill.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just kind of think this is something that is important to Kairos in the way that I think he just wants to have a better life for Rebecca and doesn't want her to end up like him.
Yeah.
I could see. I would really love to see this exact disagreement being a moment of conflict between Rebecca and Kiros, and
Hmm.
recontextualizing their relationship as a father and daughter.
Yeah.
Right.
And I genuinely don't remember how the rest of this fight goes. So maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I literally
Mhm.
couldn't tell you. But it's kind of what I want out of it at this particular moment.
So yeah, I guess we'll have to see how
Yeah.
things continue to
We'll
play out.
see.
Yeah.
But this also shows how cruel Diamante is, where I mean, we already knew he was cruel, and he was already rubbing it in Rebecca's face, like, during the Coliseum about how he killed her mom, but now that he's seeing that Kairos was that toy soldier when Scarlet died, like, he finds that, like, to be amusing, so, yeah, he just is relishing, the trauma and the tragedy that he's caused to this family.
Yeah, he's a Don Quixote for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sadism.
And what do you guys think of this fight with, Gladius?
This is so fun and creative. Like
Yeah.
Oda, illustrating this is so cool. Like the way Oda illustrates the land bursting
Yeah,
is just incredible visually and creatively. Like it's
agreed.
just such a cool idea.
Yeah. It's
Like
also
the
hard to get away
pop,
from too.
yeah, it's devastating. Like that pop rock fest panel is so cool.
Yeah,
I mean, this is just why illustration and animation are so magical. Like it's so easy to believe this and picture this and be there in this moment because it's like, and it's hard. I don't know. It's like the sky's the limit. Like if you can draw it, it can be a reality. And like
right.
this is kind of like one of those things where it's like it just pops off the page and it feels like this crazy threat. And I think the way he illustrated it, it just like really lands and it really is understood.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I really love is, yeah, how, like, outlandish some of these concepts are, and it's
Yeah.
like, how do I convey this and translate it onto a page? Because this is something that doesn't happen in real life, but, like, how do I show this in a still medium? Like, when they animate it too, like, they could also add on to it in a way, but it's just, like, fun to see,
Hmm.
like, trying to convey as much information as possible in these still images, which is very creative, and you have to approach it in that way.
Right.
I really like the fact that it is a still image. The
Yeah.
fact that it's like, oh, it's that it because like when you think of a balloon popping, you don't think of like that in between moment of like, oh, there's just this little scrap and air between it, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what this shows. And there's just something that's so unique is I feel like a cop out word for it, but like there is just I just really I really enjoy that about it.
There's so much intention. There's like
Yeah,
it's it's composed.
thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
And speaking of
because that's all
composed,
it takes.
Bartolomeo is just hiding behind his barrier, picking his nose. He has no worries because he's able to block the burst with his barrier. But Cavendish is like begging to be like let in. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna die out here." He's like, I don't know. Like, why should I risk myself for you? Like, I'm fine in here." He's like, "Come on, dude, stop
Amazing.
messing around. Let me in."
Yeah,
Oh, he also
I
mentions
love Barty.
Robin might be at risk too, so he doesn't put Robin at risk.
Yeah, no, we're getting that like classic Sanji Zoro rivalry, but also they're on the same fighting for the same on the same team.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good
here,
parallel.
yeah,
But we got this
but I
green
love
hair
it.
guy getting kicked in the face by this blonde hair guy.
Yeah.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask, yeah, if we talked about that. Yeah. Barto has
Wait,
green hair.
oh, perfect.
All right.
Did he dye to look like
Wait,
Zoro?
wait, that's too
Oh,
good.
wait, did he? That would be
I don't
that would be
know.
sick.
That's what I'm wondering.
Wow, so that plays even more into
Yeah.
wow, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Blonde one's a pretty boy. The green hair one's kind of grungy.
Self-absorbed a bit.
Hmm.
I like how Bartolomeo's complaining how Cavendish wants to get out. He's like, "Come on, dude! Like, I just let you in. Now you want to get out? Make up your mind." It's like as if like it wouldn't make sense for him to try like just like not get blown up.
Yeah.
It's like what's the big deal? Like you could just let the barrier down and put it back up again, right?
So petty.
Yeah.
I'm loving Bartolomeo. I hope he sticks around for a long time. I feel like
He's great.
I think it's also great because like I think his power is in loyalty and not like brute strength. Or at
Yeah.
least that's how I feel like he's been showing up in this arc. Is like his loyalty is his greatest strength,
Yeah.
and he's a riot.
At least loyalty to the Straw Hats. Because Cabbage is
Sure, yeah,
technically his ally as well, but he doesn't seem to extend the same courtesy to them. But like Robin, because she's a Straw Hat, he's like idolizing her,
yep,
which comes in handy here because he's trying to protect her from the blast, and he has like this great moment where Robin calls him Rooster and thanks him. And he's like, "That's all I needed. I'm not worthy."
yeah, so good.
She winked at me.
Everyone like that.
Yeah, I love this. And Barty's also being a hero too. Like, that's so good.
And just gets pumped up after being thanked. He charges in. He's just like so excited. He's like, "I know how to channel this."
I know, even though the barrier ability is like relatively one note, relatively linear, I should say. It is cool seeing him like move it around, seeing the limits of it, and seeing him push it
Mhm.
forward the variables.
Yep.
You are finding some creativity in the fruit.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and that
I think the next chapter there's like another different use for it that kind of surprised me. Which is like, oh, that's interesting. Like I didn't see
Yeah,
that coming, but yeah, I think
I haven't
we
read
can
the next
mention
chapter, Joel.
next one. Yeah.
I don't know what happens. I've never. It's my first time reading One Piece.
Sorry, Evan, you had something?
no, I was just going to continue saying how you're saying how it's cool, like his creative uses of the barrier, but I also love how the paneling on barrier bowls at the top of that page. How we get Barty like screaming out over the top. It looks so good.
So, do we think this is just like a more of like a symbolism type of thing, where it's like just kind of like how he's feeling, not him like actually making like a barrier shaped like himself?
Oh,
Like, what do you
To
guys
me,
think this
I
is?
thought it was like superimposed. I thought it was just like a fun
You think it's
creative
like
way to
that?
combine two panels seamlessly into one panel. Do
I
you think
that's what I
it's
thought
like
was.
a head?
Reading.
Well, that's what I'm asking you guys. Like, what do you think is happening here? Cody, you had an idea?
I'm with Evan. I think it's just like Bardo's head like superimposed.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Like
thought.
2001. But what I just thought of is the fact that like it does feel very Luffy like in Barto. Oh, I see this thing happening in a different fight, the Bulls from the Coliseum. I'm gonna take the image of that and metaphorically turn it into my own version of that attack. Just like Luffy does with the Gum pistol, windmill, axe, all of those. It's very he really is a
Yeah.
Luffy fan.
He is a Luffy stan for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like that gets reiterated a couple times before the end of this volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes most sense that it's just meant to be like for the reader, not actually physically happening because it looks like
Yeah.
he's kind of just pushing a barrier, but it's like unclear exactly where he is. But
hmm Look at
yeah,
those
I
teeth.
still think it's a good panel. But yeah,
Yeah. We get Bellinger revealing their true colors here.
yep.
The hat comes off. So we can confirm that they have actual horns.
Yep.
And it's not part of a hat.
Nope.
Confirmed.
Which makes sense because they are that fighting fish man.
Yeah,
Or
but
whatever he has
like
for him.
they go full fishman here. And it makes me kind of wonder if like the fighting fish blood is like touted as like a maybe like a rare or like unique amongst
Could be.
fishmen maybe.
Could be.
Might be on something.
Because they specifically say like don't play games with fighting fish blood and look crazy when they say that. So I
Yeah, I mean,
wonder if
it could
there's
be some
like
like aggression that's kind of tied to that species because like the fighting fish are just like we've
right.
seen them being very aggressive.
Yeah,
So that could just be part of his DNA.
exactly.
Yeah, Odeo takes a big hit here.
Yeah.
Sad to see it happen, but someone had the job.
Yeah.
And then Dellinger gets the job. Attacking mission.
Yeah.
Takes a turn, yeah.
Gets sliced and diced here.
But these are some cool panels.
Yeah.
I love like the A frame of the last one.
Yeah.
Yes. Very cool.
Yeah, seeing like the slash from Hakuba, and then I love the way that Oda does the face for Hakuba, like the big smirk with like the
Hmm.
like no pupils in the eyes, and very covered in shadow.
Yep,
Greek mask.
totally.
Very cool. Bartolomeo's pretty confused though. He's like, "Who's this freaky guy?"
Yeah.
Not man, Cavendish is a fucking freak. Hey, there's some freaky guy. What's up, guys?
Okay, we got anything else on this one?
I'm good.
All right, let's move along to Solitary Journey of Jinbei, First Time to See, Volume 19. As thanks for the offerings, I just gave you the underwater human's house. Wasumi had mistakenly thought the offerings were for him, and to repay them, he gave them the ruins.
Oh,
A wacky little guy.
no,
No,
silly
Wacky
little
big
guy.
old guy.
Yeah, right. It's like when a dog brings you a gift that you didn't want.
yeah.
Here's a
He
dead
meant well.
mouse.
Right.
I think it's funny, like in the first sequence here, how like there's like a little picture of Luffy like looking mad. So that's why he kind of sees Luffy. It's like, yeah, I got beat up by the Straw Hats. But this chapter does give us a lot more context as to what's been going on for the past like 19 chapters. So
Yep.
it's kind of making sense now.
Starting to come together.
Yeah. So it's kind of cute how he thought he was doing something nice, not realizing he threw ruins onto these people's homes and like caused destruction. So it wasn't malicious. It's just he didn't really understand.
Yeah. He meant well.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
also love this little Barty shot we got on the other page
Oh yeah.
next to the cover story.
Yeah, that's a great panel.
Great panel.
Okay. Getting into the chapter 773, Half and Half. As Bartolomeo hides in his barrier, he realizes that Cavendish was the one who took out all of the fighters in Block D and was taken over by this version. Noticing Bartolomeo was distracted by Robin, Hakuba sets his sights on her. Robin catches Hakuba by sprouting arms from his body, stopping him in his tracks. Cavendish's personality reemerges, scolding Hakuba for taking control. Hakuba takes control again, causing the two personalities to fight by constantly switching back and forth. Cavendish seems to have things under control again, so Robin lets him go. Gladius starts to inflate the wall Robin and Cavendish were on, threatening to burst it. Bartolomeo attempts to stop him before he can burst it, but Gladius inflates himself as well, warning Bartolomeo that he will cover him in poison quills when he explodes. He gives Bartolomeo an ultimatum: save Robin or save himself. Bartolomeo covers Gladius with a barrier, then slashes him, causing him to burst. Unfortunately, the slash only got Gladius in the shoulder, so he is not knocked out, leaving the wall still inflated. Cavendish lets half of Hakuba out in order to use his speed while remaining conscious. Cavendish successfully gets to Flower Hill with Robin, but falls asleep. Bartolomeo manages to knock out Gladius with a barrier pistol. As Salmonte is about to slash Rebecca with his curvy sword, Robin arrives in time to redirect it. So now we get a little chapter with both Cavendish and Bartolomeo continuing to shine.
Stepping up.
I love this duo.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great sequence. I think again, the like Jekyll and Hyde illustration is just so brilliantly done.
Mhm.
Like it perfectly done here. Brilliantly illustrated for sure.
Yeah.
And kind of cool. This is our first time seeing Cavendish like in between. Me will.
Me well.
Oh. But yeah, like you said, both of them like really stepping up to the plate here, and especially Cavendish. Like Cavendish, like someone who we didn't think would like be going out on a limb and sacrificing themselves like this in order to save the Straw Hats and help achieve the Straw Hats' goals. Like even in this chapter alone, like fighting with him with his own split duality, split personality, and then memeing himself here at the end to like save Robin. I don't know. It's very different Cavendish than we met back in the Coliseum, you know?
Yeah. A little bit more
And
redeemable there.
Bartolomeo also being a total hero here. Like also sacrificing himself for the greater good. And I feel like, we keep talking about inherited will, but like Luffy has this way of like instilling his will into everyone he meets and who follows him. And like we see these two characters literally risking it all just to help Luffy achieve his goals. Barty through like total fandom and obsession, and Cavendish through chivalry, maybe? I don't know.
I think part of it's also like there's some pride to it as well.
Yeah,
But there's like a force of will. But yeah, also recognizing that helping his allies in the situation is also for the best.
right.
So also setting aside some pride too. So there's a lot of mix of kind of stuff going on there. I did think the half and half panel does the Hakuba side remind you of Caesar Clown?
Oh, huh.
You mean
Oh,
Orochimaru?
I meant Caesar Clown, but I could see Orochimaru too.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah,
yeah, because just like I think like the eye shape and the big mouth with the laugh, and you kind of
yeah.
get
I
the
can
hair
see that.
in front of his face. Yeah, he's kind of giving me Caesar Clown vibes.
it
I
drapes
can see it.
around the same way that like the gas cloak did in the neck area. I
Yeah.
see that. Yeah,
I
yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
yeah. What did Oda mean by this? What was he trying to tell us?
I did like the moment where Robin was able to also catch Hakuba. So for her, it's like the speed wasn't a factor because she could just make the arm
Yeah,
route wherever he was. So, but she was able to, the way her powers work, like it doesn't seem like she really needs to like focus. Like it's not like a target area. It's like I'm trying to make it appear from this thing. It's like well, this like the spot like where he was. Like she's making it appear wherever his body is.
yeah.
So like I'm not entirely sure like how she's able to have that level of control, but it's interesting that like she's able to do that.
Speaking of interesting abilities that she's able to do, in the on the last page of this chapter, we get these like the butterfly orchid,
Oh yeah.
and I don't even know what's going on here. Like I don't know
Yeah,
what's happening, but it's cool.
it's a cool entrance. I definitely want to see like where the utility comes in with these things.
Yeah, or like how they appeared, like where they appeared from. We've never really seen like a disembodied hand. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
her ability is always attached to something. Like it has to come from somewhere. So like seeing this would be like, can she make a clone of herself?
Well, she
Like
can.
we've
Yeah.
seen
well,
her
she
make a
did.
clone, right? But it's attached to something like
Well, she's
And
made different
was
the
it?
bodies of
ground
herself.
or the wall. Yeah, it's like attached to the wall or the ground or something.
Well, there's like the moments where
The
like in
Fishman
Fishman
Island, was it?
Island, yeah, she was like standing back to back with herself. Like so like she could make like another body walk as if like
Right,
it's
but
herself.
but it comes up from the ground, right? Like I've always pictured her ability as like yeah, she could make a copy of herself, but it like comes from the ground or comes from like an inanimate object
Unless all these came from the ground
or
as
an
well.
animate, and then they just like flew off as hands. And I
Yeah,
know
but
it's a
But it
very
is.
nuanced thing, but it's just like
Yeah,
I guess that's just like the way I've been
yeah.
picturing it up to this point, and now I'm kind of like, oh, cool. Can she just like make these hands like appear out of thin air? Because that's pretty cool.
It is novel. I mean, I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know for sure because like she makes a lot of these hands. I don't think they necessarily all came from the ground and then flew up, but they could have, or she could have made it come from the sword or something. I'm not sure.
Regardless, very cool.
Yeah.
Very
And
cool.
is she kind of making like a wind kind of like to make the sword kind of curl? Because like it looks like there's like a swirl going around if you like kind of look where the hands are going. This kind of like a misty kind of thing going around. So I'm not sure if that's kind of meant to indicate like she's kind of redirecting the sword because of like a wind or like I don't know exactly what she's doing. Like I haven't said like I'm not entirely sure what the panel is doing. It looks cool, but
She does say the butterfly flower that brushes off the elements, and then it's called butterfly orchid. I don't know. If like the way I read it was like she sprouted hands from the blade to like throw off the balance or like
yeah,
mess up
okay.
its trajectory. So you can see the hands that sprouted from the blade, or like she used her hands to parry away from Rebecca or herself.
Yeah.
And then the hands, I'm picturing them like butterflies flapping and
Yeah.
flying around. I don't know.
But
Maybe
what
as like a
exactly are the
distraction, or
butterfly hands actually doing? Like,
maybe just
That's the part
obscuring
I'm
his vision, or like
maybe she'll start attacking with them or
maybe
something.
Robin just wants to make an entrance, and I think she does. If that was the goal, I think she succeeded at that.
yeah, that's fair.
She does get style points.
Mad style points.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
any
so,
listeners have a better idea, let us know.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
kind of at a
curious.
loss beyond what we talked about, but maybe somebody else has an interpretation that's more accurate. But yeah, if anybody else has any thoughts, let us know.
I guess the only other thing I'll add on this is that we do see like flower petals flowing around in the wind. So we know there has been like some breeze activity potentially from like the rippling of the landscape. Maybe that like creates a breeze there. But also could be another potential source if we're going with, oh well, maybe she can make it out. So like maybe the hands do come from the petals in the air, but really Oda can just do whatever he wants at this point. Oda can bend whatever explanation he wants to. If someone calls him out in the SBS, he can just say, "Yeah, that, sure, yeah, totally, yeah."
Mhm.
But I think in
Like
general,
what
like
you
when she
said.
uses her power, sometimes it does make these petals because she does have the flower fruit.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So I think those are petals that just kind of appear when she uses her power sometimes.
No, I mean
Uh,
like even in if you look at before she shows up here, I think at the start of last chapter too, we see like some petals floating around like in the establishing shots
in the previous
of
chapter.
Kyrus versus Diamante. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
They are
Yeah.
in Flower Field, or Flower
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah, that's fair.
There, it is literally all flowers.
But like when she grabs Hakuba earlier, there's also petals around like Hakuba. So
Yeah.
Sure, it is part. It's part of her thing for sure.
yeah, so I'm
No
not sure
problem.
which petals those are.
And that's what Oda wants.
Yeah.
Asking the real questions. Which flower petals are those?
Which petals?
We ask important questions on this podcast.
Yeah, excited to see more of this, and it's nice to see Robin finally getting some screen time. I'm excited to see some
Yeah.
of these new techniques.
And because we mentioned it earlier, we do see Bartolomeo use his new technique, just influenced by Luffy, with the barrier pistol,
Yes,
Fire.
where he wraps
yes.
a barrier around his hand like a bubble and uses that to smash Gladius to the ground, which is pretty cool.
It's like yelling out your hero's name as you try to do something cool, like Kobe.
Yeah, he calls it the homage holy fist.
Kobe. Pistol.
Very cool, and a great panel. Another great panel. Gladius is going burrowing.
Okay. Anything else on this one?
I'm good.
Okay. Just real quick in the SBS, I was just kind of looking at this one, just because I thought it was a neat little detail where somebody recognized the castle in one of the cities that Law and Corazon visited, and there's a castle that looked like the one from Noland, and Oda says that it is the Lomeo Kingdom. So that is a place that they did visit on their journey. But yeah, just a little neat connection.
Is the bottom one from the book? Is that panel from like in the book? Or is this a representation of Oda's drawing 40 volumes apart?
I think it was from the flashback.
Right. I'm just trying to remember if it was like 2D, if it's more 2D because it was like in a book, or if Oda's drawing has just improved greatly over 40 volumes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the other one looks like so much, skillfully drawn.
Yeah, it could be the book that Nami was reading.
Yeah.
I have volume 31 with me right now.
There you go.
Bam.
It is actually a landscape shot.
Okay.
It's right before Nolan gets executed.
Okay, so it is from the flashback itself.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's get into the next part of the cover story: the solitary journey of Jinbei, First on the Sea, volume 20. Jinbei lectures the sea god. Jinbei tells Matsumi that he caused damage to the people's homes as well as the underwater creatures.
Oh, it's okay, buddy.
Are floating.
But you can't
Tears
throw
are
buildings at the town.
I didn't know. Cody didn't tell me that was wrong. Buddy. Oh no.
There's something really funny about this giant dude with like this facial hair and all this body hair who acts like a little kid being scolded by like his like small parent.
We love Giant Baby.
Yeah.
Giant man baby.
And I love the way that Oda draws like the tears in the water. How they kind of start to cloud.
Yeah.
It's a totally different density than the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to the chapter. Chapter 774, Leo, captain of the Tontatta warriors. Viola sees that Mancherry is in trouble and urges Leo and Cup to hurry before Giola can revive the fallen Don Quixote officers. Mancherry has the ability to heal people, but she's refusing to use her powers to help the bad guys. In frustration, Giola grabs Mancherry and starts to hurt her, causing one of Mancherry's tears to land on unconscious henchman. When he's healed, Giola discovers she can use her tears to bring her allies back. Viola warns that if Sugar is revived again, this could lead to them having to overcome her abilities once again, while the rest of the good guys are already exhausted from fighting. Cobb arrives just in time to knock away the unconscious Don Quixote officers before the tears can fall on them. Leo uses his so-so powers to stitch all the enemies together, preventing them from being able to move and rescuing Mancherry. So things could have been bad.
Could have been real bad. We get the Mancherry reveal.
Yeah.
Mancherry's so cute.
Adorable.
And you know
He's
who's
so
not
adorable.
cute? Joa.
Joa.
Not cute. Evil.
Not adorable.
Wait, what'd you
Man,
call her? Boy
he's-
Hancock?
Nice.
Evil. That was good. This is such an interesting devil fruit too. Like, is it a devil fruit? Did we confirm that? Right? It is the something fruit.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
the
they
heal fruit. They do.
Heal
they do
fruit.
in the chapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Just opposite her introduction panel, Joa says, so if you use your heal fruit powers on the officers to
Okay.
revive them. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, there it is.
so what kind of devil fruit would this be? Because it's like, it doesn't seem like an ability that one turns on and off. It's a reactionary ability to your bodily bodily functions.
I'd say it has to be a Paramithia.
Yeah.
Paramithia.
Yeah. So it's Parametheus it's like the odds and ends. It's like the bucket that everything else falls in. Because if you turn to an animal, you're a Zoan. If your body turns into like an element, way like Ace or Smoke or an L, then it's a Logia. And then just everything else is a Paramithia. Paramithia,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Miscellaneous.
Yeah. Like the protists of devil fruits.
So interesting though.
Yeah. But it's neat,
Also
like
very
there
strong
are all
power.
those like different ways they activate though.
Right.
What, Joel?
This one's like kind of involuntary almost.
I was just saying, this is a very strong power,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the
Girl's
Don
got the
Quixote family
senzu beans.
recognizes that. Yeah, yeah. So they recognize how powerful this ability is, and they're abusing it as much as possible.
Of course. That's all they do with power.
Yeah, but yeah, we have the threat of Sugar reviving it again, which was already a threat earlier. So, like, Sugar is like so powerful that it's like we need to find a way to keep her like out of the fight as
Yeah.
much as possible.
Yep.
Fucking sleep.
Yeah, I'm grateful that Sugar does not successfully get revived here, because I think that would be like come on, Oda, at this point, just like let it go. So I like
Yeah.
that, like there's that threat, but he stops it before it becomes a threat again.
Yeah.
But it does kind of show like how strong Mancherry's powers are, and like how they're going to come into play, and ways that the enemy can use it to give them an edge. So they're trying to always get an edge on their opponents. So
Oh, at the beginning of this chapter, we get this little scene with Barty yelling at these people taking Gladius away, which feels like it was put in here just to inform the audience that Gladius is not dead. And it's like, come on, Oda, like we know you're not killing off any characters. Like you don't need to dedicate a whole page to telling us that Gladius wasn't murdered.
Yeah, they
We
even
can
call it a
assume.
corpse, and he's like, no, he ain't dead.
He ain't dead.
But he's out of the fight for 2 or 3 days, so
Yeah. He got rocked.
and then like the fact that Viola can see Mancherry being in danger, like there's that sense of urgency, and how close it comes to these tears falling on the fallen Don Quixote members, which they got them here pretty quick, because Lao G and Dellinger also just got knocked out like not that long ago. and they already got transported here. But then we see how cruel Jill is, where she's like intentionally hurting Mancherry to try to. She accidentally discovers like, oh, the tears can also be used. So before it seemed like they probably coerced her into helping them, so she might like maybe put her hands, like lay hands on them to like use her powers, but they could use her tears to involuntarily apply to their bodies to make them get healed. Yeah, so when she learns this by accidentally having a tear fall on one of the grunts, she's like, okay, now we can put this on the rest of them.
It's awful.
Yeah, we get this close call. And I like Usopp's reaction too, where feels like if they revive Sugar, you know, we're gonna be right back to where we were. And Usopp's like, no.
Can't do this shit again.
I already took her out twice. I can't do it again.
Leo and Cub, though, saving the day.
Hell yes.
And Leo gets the hero shot panel. So epic. I was like, all right. Leo has come to save the princess. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then blows it.
Imagine.
Which was also pretty cute. They clearly have a rapport.
Oh, Paul.
A rapport.
I like how when the Leo's using his powers, he's like, so.
Yeah. So good. It's funny. I feel like I was getting hyped about the Mancherry Leo romance, and it all built up to this moment. And it was so epic. I'm like, let's go, Leo, save the princess. And then it ends in this like super cute moment where they clearly have history together. And she's got the crush and he's oblivious.
So
Yeah.
so oblivious.
Yeah.
Because it's funny though, like we're gonna get more of it in the next chapter, but like we've seen previously, like how Leo seems to have like a negative opinion of Mancherry.
Yeah. So cute.
But yeah, I really don't think I have that much more to add on this one.
No, not really.
I'm good.
I said it all.
Okay. Then we can wrap up with the last chapter of the volume with chapter 775, From Russian with Love. Happy to see Leo. Mancherry asks for him to carry her, telling him her leg hurts. Leo, not realizing Mancherry's feelings for him, thinks she's being a pain. Reluctantly, he agrees and carries her. Giola, unable to move, realizes their situation is dire and needs to report to Doflamingo. If the factory is destroyed, they plan to use Mancherry's abilities to restore the factory at the cost of her life. Frankie and Senior Pink continue their super manly battle as both take each other's hits instead of dodging. Frankie declares he will protect the Tontattas and will take anything Senior Pink can dish out. Senior Pink puts that to the test, stating that he'll use one final move. If Frankie can withstand this attack, Senior Pink will admit defeat. Senior Pink swims Frankie up the tower, through the roof, and suplexes him into the ground. After a moment, Frankie gets up, making him the winner. Frankie unleashes a flurry of blows as Senior Pink reflects on his past. He met a woman named Russian and fell in love. Knowing she would hate him for being a pirate, he lied and told her that he worked at the bank. The two got married and had a baby boy, Gimlet. While Senior Pink was away for a few weeks working with Doflamingo and his crew, he returned to the devastating news that his son was dead. Russian called the bank and learned he didn't work there. Betrayed, Russian ran out into the rain to get away from the stranger she married. Tragically, she was caught in a landslide, leaving her in a vegetative state in the hospital. Feeling responsible for the tragedies in his wife's life, he attempted to cheer her up when visiting her in the hospital by wearing Gimlet's baby bonnet. Surprisingly, this caused her to smile. This being the only thing to make her respond, he kept wearing the baby bonnet and eventually started just wearing baby clothes. It was worth the mockery if it meant he could make Russian smile. Frankie wonders what Senior Pink was thinking about as he wipes away the man's tears, walking away victorious.
That Frankie is so hard-boiled.
Yeah, so this chapter...
What? Where? How? Him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
at this point, if I see the black background of a flashback, I just grab a box of tissues. Like it's just like I don't even need to get into it. I just see the black background. I'm like, all right, here we go. I better sit down, dude. Why does he keep doing this to us?
Yeah, so there's a lot to process in this chapter. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, do you guys want to start with the flashback, or do you want to work your way to it? Like, where do you guys want to start on this?
That'll work our way to it. I really enjoy the Leo Mancherry dynamic as we started to talk about at the beginning.
Yeah,
He's so oblivious that he just takes any sweet little chance she takes to flirt and takes his she sucks so bad. God, give me a break, woman. Shit. Wants to carry her? God, she's so fucking selfish. It's great.
did you hear your own
right?
leg?
Which
Get
which is
your
so
own.
which is so funny because like we know the Tontattas are like these really happy people that like never argue and they're super gullible and this never happened. Like we don't see this interaction a lot. Like I don't think we have at all. You know, they're just so like kind and loving. So it's really funny to see Leo, who's like, you know, well regarded by everyone, just kind of like, you know, being pessimistic and like being frustrated and angry and arguing. I think it's like really funny.
Yeah, I think this is like pretty well summed up. Where he says that she's really selfish, fickle, and irritable. Such a pain in the tush. So like he sees like Mancherry, who's like trying to rely on Leo because she has a crush on him. But Leo just sees like, oh, she's just being annoying and making me do stuff for her, not realizing like the reason why she's being like that. Because again, I think they kind of see things at a surface level. So he's not really looking into the deeper meaning of what Mancherry is trying to do or what she's trying to convey. So yeah, Leo just sees like, oh yeah, she's just making me do stuff. Oh, she's so annoying.
Or maybe Leo really has a crush and that's why he's acting out of character because he doesn't know how to like handle
Okay,
his emotions.
could be that too.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm pulling for
It
this
does feel-
romance. I want to ship these two for sure.
It does feel very middle schooler. I do give it that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's also very non Tontatta and non Leo. Like it's like I feel like he's acting very out of character.
It's
Which
cute.
makes me think maybe
Even Cub's
maybe
like, how
here.
dense can he be? The princess is nice to everyone. Like,
yeah.
like everybody else seems to like understand what's going on except for Leo.
Did you guys see Panda Man?
I did not.
Where? In this
It's on
chapter?
the same. It's on the same page.
Oh, I see him. We catch.
I just as we were talking about this, I
What?
noticed him.
Yeah,
So
the
right under
panel- I'm sorry, go ahead,
sees
Cody?
the little people. So like when the page when we're talking about Leo says she's really is selfish and fickle and irritable. If you go to panel below that where it says sees the little people, Panda Man's one of the guards running past through there.
Whoa. What a treat.
I just caught that.
Good
Nice
catch.
catch.
Then we have Jola mentioning the heel fruit having an ability that sacrifices the lifespan of the user. So very similar to what was it they were talking about the Appa fruit having an immortality surgery?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
So more of these devil fruits that have like something akin to each other, right? Because we've been seeing like the officers have like, you know, Machweiss has like the version of the Kilo fruit, Gladius and Mr. Five have similar fruits. We're just more of these
Yeah.
pairs are coming up
Like
here.
families.
Yeah.
It's interesting that this can heal non-living things as well.
Yeah.
So it can restore a structure to like its
Yeah, right?
state.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
It's not the mechanism of healing, but the concept of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least
and
someone was
then-
up there balancing the scales a little bit on these fruits. Some of them are pretty OP.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts on this Frankie versus Senior Pink fight?
Evan, after you.
Oh, it's the manliest macho man showdown imaginable. Punch for punch, 30 punches. I think it was cool. I think like Frankie respects Senior Pink throughout this fight, especially by
Yeah.
the end. I feel like he's earning and giving respect to his enemy here. one pervert to another. I think they recognize each other, and I think it's interesting, like showing genuine respect to an enemy that you're trying to defeat. And I feel like not every character shows that trait, and I think it's befitting of Frankie.
Yeah, agreed.
I think agreed. I also feel like Senor Pink just like would have been like a really good fit for the Frankie family if he would just like was in a different
Oh
part of the
yeah,
Grand Line. And like
yeah,
Yeah.
and Frankie would like totally like he would feel for Senor Pink's story because like Frankie also like ran a criminal empire. He was like, like still doing good behind the scenes, but like he's this sort of setting for him wouldn't be anything he's a stranger to. And
yeah.
so it's cool seeing just the like Evan said, the respect they have for each other.
They both wear speedos. They both were called perverts. They got a lot in common.
Homies forever.
Yeah.
I just oh Joey, sorry.
No, you go ahead. Yeah, you go first.
I was just gonna say I love that Oda gave us such a tender, sob-inducing backstory at the end of this volume. Just at the very end of this fight, didn't even have anything to do with like the outcome of the fight. Wasn't a big character awakening moment. Oh, I get my final punch. No, he's already getting his ass kicked at the very end of it.
Yeah,
For a character who, like, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter much the story at all.
Wait, what?
Well, at least at this point, I have to be careful about spoilers for Evan, bro. Don't fucking ruin this for me, bro.
yeah. Crying to
Yeah.
a sentimental backstory about Senor Pink was not on the bingo card. Like,
Well,
did
yeah.
not see that coming.
Yeah.
But before we
What
get
I'm
to
saying is,
the
Oda
backstory,
didn't have to do this at all. Sorry, I'm just saying he didn't have to do it at all. But yes.
yeah, yeah, I do want to get to the backstory because it does feel like kind of like out of nowhere, and it feels like more than this character deserved. But that's what I think is also great with this build up too, is how we see this fight with Frankie and Senior Pink, and there's that respect in the way that they're trading blows, and they see each other, and they understand where each other's coming from with the way that they're fighting. So they're
Yeah.
trying to fight on the same level where they're trying to respect the other person by not dodging the attacks, and they're taking each other's attacks. So you see like Frankie doing like the punches and Senior Pink doing like the suplexes, and they just kind of go back and forth, just trading blows, like going blow for blow. And there's just something about this, like the way that they play it up is hilarious, but like also like I respect it where they do commit to that, and it's like they're not like trying to get an advantage on the other one. Like they're doing a very like kind of fair fight. Whereas like I think this is like a little uncharacteristic for the Don Quixote family to have somebody who is going to do this, who like is kind of showing more of that like respect as opposed to what we've been getting with the other members who don't seem to have that same level of respect for these other people. And we do have like this great moment where Senior Pink has this big build up and he launches Frankie in the air, and Frankie's like, yeah, I'm going to take everything you got. So, lay it on me. And then Frankie is such a great character to have in the situation because we do know that Frankie is one of the more sensitive characters. And I think he's more willing to like, hear these sob stories. So the fact that Senior Pink does have this big sob story in his history, I do think Frankie is probably the perfect person to meet him in the ring to again have that level of respect for his opponent. So yeah, I do love that. After all that, this character who's so wild and was like, "What's his deal?" We do figure out what his deal is.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I'll let you guys start the conversation about the backstory itself.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's very quick and it's very brief, and a lot of ground is covered, and it's super heart throbbing. And I was also kind of like why exactly are we getting this? And I don't know if I've come up with a good answer, but like I wonder if like Oda trying to make a point about like masculinity and like what does being a man actually mean in like the world of One Piece. And I don't know if I've like come up with a clear image, but I feel like that could be a theme that Oda wanted to like bring to attention with Frankie and with Senor Pink. I think it's kind of like brushed upon with like Sai as well, and Leo maybe a little bit. But I think like Frankie sees something in Senor Pink that he sees it himself, maybe like the self expression and like committing to something, and like I guess I haven't like fully. I feel like it's not a fully formed thought yet, but I'm like kind of curious, like what why we got such a backstory for Senor Pink.
So my best guess is, or at least what I think helps in this case, is this kind of humanizes some of the Don Quixote family, where it's easy to say they're all monsters, but at the same time, no, we do kind of see that there's more to these characters than we might originally think. And, you know, the fact that these villains are getting these backstories, like even like Baby Five, her backstory is a little bit shorter, but we do see that there's this tragedy behind her and why she is seeking that validation from somebody like the Don Quixote family or, or Doflamingo himself. So there is something about these people that drove them to this place. Now, with Senior Pink, his situation is a little different, but he does have this backstory. And, on the surface level, he's like this big goof and he's an adult that dressed like a baby. That's very silly. But it's actually rooted in something very tragic. And I think it's very interesting that Oda gave us this backstory in the first place and decided to tell this very tragic and like devastating story for this character to give him such a heartfelt backstory. He didn't have to do this, but at the same time, I actually love that he does this. Like, this is like my favorite part about Senior Pink. Actually, is like this this backstory that he gives us. Like, Senior Pink is like such a character that I feel like you can have big mixed feelings on, and maybe a lot of your feelings are negative. But I think this backstory, no matter how you feel about Senior Pink, does make you feel a little bit different for him, or at least like have sympathy for him. And part of the tragedy is that some of this is self-inflicted, and he wasn't there for his family, and he lied to the woman that he loved in order to be with her, and he blames himself for the bad things that happened. Because if he wasn't there, like they wouldn't have put this life together, and she wouldn't have run away if she knew the truth. Like like would probably find out the truth after being married to this man for some time. So the fact he was living like the secret life and keeping it from her, and when it came to light, she reacted in a way that like he knew that she would, but he was afraid of losing her, so he hid the truth from her. So again, it was selfish of him to pursue this life with her in the first place, but his decisions ultimately lead to the death of the person. Not the death of her, but like he wasn't there for the son, and her state of life has now become she's in a vegetative state, so she's not able to have a quality of life. And the fact that he puts on the baby outfit is just his way of trying to find a small glimmer of happiness for himself and the person he loves, and the only way that he's been able to capture that. The fact that he's willing to put on this full baby outfit, no matter like what people say about him, like shows that this was more important to him and how much he does care about his wife. So yeah, it shows that there is that level of care for this character who again is a villain and is a pirate, but it's somebody who can still care. It's not this cruel person like we see with Diamante, who just seems to be like pure evil. Doflamingo, who we saw again had this backstory we see where Doflamingo is rooted in, but like he's more evil to the core. Whereas Senior Pink has more of this like human side to him that we can sympathize for him.
Yeah, it does like totally reframe the fight, and I don't know. I feel like it draws some parallels with Frankie's backstory a little bit.
Definitely lots of sympathy for Senor Pink. Specifically because he did have to like live with the lie he told, and he committed to no, I'm gonna do what I can to make this person that I did inadvertently hurt but ultimately care about to make them happy. And Joel, I see what you're saying about humanizing the Doflamingo family and how this does that. For me, it humanizes Senor Pink. It humanizes this very singular aspect of the family, just in the same way that Baby Fives humanized her. I'm still a little sold on feeling. I guess it does make the whole family feel human. I guess I just don't feel sympathetic toward like it doesn't give me any more sympathy toward the rest of them. And I'm
Oh
not
no,
sure
no,
that's I don't
I'm
think
not
you were
looping
saying
them.
that was either
But
way.
no, no.
But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I just think they're just parts of the family. Some of these members do
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
something that we can sympathize. Like again, like I think like Diamante, he's also like Rose of the
Which you said.
Correggiolo is
Yeah,
probably in that same boat. We don't know because there could be more
yeah,
to them as well that we don't know about.
yeah. And
But we don't see that.
we see Diamante in trouble, like literally giving Senor Pink shit for this.
Yeah,
Well, Laoji was the one talking about using Baby Five.
right.
Um, but I guess like what I'm trying to figure out is like I think like everyone was saying like what was like the reason that Oda included this story in there. For one, like I wouldn't be surprised if Oda did have like a backstory for each of the Don Quixote family, or was at least starting to get with the one. But then maybe his editor's like, hey man, this arc is how many chapters long? 75 chapters long right now. We got to keep it going, brother. And this was just the best one he had because it really is just a very short, succinct, beautiful backstory.
Yep.
But it is like it's family, it's honesty, it's atonement, which I think are like three themes that we are seeing a lot of throughout this entire arc. With Doflamingo, with we see with Rosinante. Rosinante had that whole monologue while Law was asleep, saying, "Hey, I tried to help you. Did I just fuck you up more?" And again, now Law feeling he has to atone for Rosinante's sacrifice for him. So maybe it is about what you do for the people that you love. What does make someone an actual family versus a fake family, not a found family like the Strats are, but like again, like I know the jury is still out. There's still room to determine like how we feel about whether the Doflamingo, there's room for me to determine my feelings on whether the Don Quixote family are a true family. But this at least does give us another example of what family is. And I keep saying that there's all I want to look at this in context of the whole arc when all is said and done. I keep saying it, but this is I'm gonna have to make a list at some point before we finish the arc. But this is definitely one of those where I do wanna take it in relation to the entire arc. But yeah, it just really is. It really is nice seeing a character be so weird for such a good cause.
But one thing I do want to comment on from what you were saying is what made me think of with the concept of family and whether or not the Don Quixote family is a real family. I don't know if they would be considered a real family, but I think Doflamingo does consider them a family, at least like what his version of a family would be. So
Yes,
he might not.
in that wording, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So no. I think that could be part of it. Where like in his mind, he's like, oh, this is what a family is supposed to be. This is my true family, and he might feel that genuinely, but not realize like again because like they look at Baby Five, like this is somebody that we can use. Like, is he seeing like family as also an extension of things he could use? Like how useful you can be to me. It could be some kind of like level of like something in the middle, but then we do see examples of these people who have true families, or we have like the bonds of like Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, and their brotherhood. So it's like what
Mhm.
makes like a family, and is it like it's like these bonds that they make. It's like I do like this concept of these found families, and again, their feelings might be genuine, but like, are they actually a family, or is it just what they think a family should be, or their idea of like a
Mhm.
family? So I think there's all these different like nuances, and like this is room for interpretation. And I think that's why the jury's still out because it's not clear, how these people feel about each other, and are they just who they have, and that's what they respect about being a family is like people that are there for you, or is it more like I don't know. I feel like I don't really know how I want to define it. I think
Yeah.
that's part of what makes it difficult to pin down is because we don't know for sure how they feel about each other.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think like with Senor Pink's backstory and with like a lot of the backstories we're getting from the Don Quixote family, like he's definitely humanizing these people. It's like, yeah, they're evil and they've made some poor choices, but like they've also lived through some really difficult trauma and have been put in some really tough situations. Like even Dofi, like I feel like Dofi is a prime example of that. Like he was born from chaos and destruction
Yeah.
and has lived that and has kept that close to his heart and has lived that life for surrounding himself with people who are also damaged. And yeah, I don't know. Like it's a really interesting conversation, because it's
Yeah.
like the chosen loyalty, the found family, but it seems to be means to an end, or like there seems to be ulterior motives where, like with Luffy, I think Luffy's superpower is that he makes allies. Not he doesn't want or need allies, right? Like
Or you intentionally
he
seek
doesn't
them out.
right, he doesn't really seek
Yeah.
these people out. He just sees like, "Oh, you're a good person and our goals align. I'm going to help you achieve your dream."
Hmm.
And it just so happens to also be working in tandem with my dream. And I think he builds allies and friendships that keep people near him, not power structures that like trick people into staying with him, unlike Dofi.
He
Like
attracts
Luffy's
symbiotic.
yeah. But Luffy is also passing on his will. Like if Dofi were to disappear, I don't think people would be stepping up into his shoes and like ready to like fulfill his dreams. Where Luffy in this very arc has gotten all of these people to follow him, have inherited his will, and if he were to go down, all of them would become his successors. Like they would all step up into his role and try to continue his vision or his dream. And I don't think that's true with Dofi.
Yeah.
I think if Dofi, if he was taken out of the equation, it would disperse. Like the family would disperse.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and one thing I'm wondering, because with like Luffy, one thing he doesn't care about is like people's past, because for him that's not what defines people. It's like who they are as a person and what they do. With Doflamingo, I wonder if like how familiar he is with these people's backstories, and if he's intentionally targeting people that he feels he can use because they have some kind of baggage, and is he kind of using it as a way to manipulate them and to achieve like his goals. So like, is he
Law,
finding people like,
Aw.
yeah,
perfect example.
Yep.
yeah. So like, is he finding people like Baby Five, who's like, oh, I can use you, like you have this backstory, so you're easy to manipulate, or like I don't know. I'm not sure what's bringing these people together, if or like or whatnot. But to
We're
me, like I
keeping
think,
them together.
yeah, is he using like their like trauma as a way to bond?
I don't know. It's a great topic. I'm really enjoying like this conversation and how it's been developing, like seemingly podcast by podcast as we're getting more of this Dressrosa arc. Like,
Yeah, it's one of the ongoing things.
yeah, it's really cool. It's like a cool ongoing theme that I feel like we keep coming back to, and we end in a different spot every time. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. Like we're
It's
kind
an
of
ongoing
dancing around the
development.
same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But it is cool because I feel like Dofi does feel kind of like the anti-hero to Luffy. Like this feels like a very big confrontation because of Dofi's reach and his he does seem to be like the antithesis of Luffy, which I love.
Which is a perfect villain for Luffy.
Mhm.
Perfect villain for Luffy. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
can't
we
wait.
end this chapter on this kind of like sweet note where Frankie like sees that Senior Pink is crying about something, so clearly his past is affecting him, and Frankie doesn't know what he was thinking. But I think if Frankie knew the story, again, like he's very sensitive, so I think he would feel for Senior Pink as well. And he's like, yeah, we should talk over a beer at some point. So like, he kind of sees him as like a potential friend. So
Mhm.
I like this how this kind of developed with Frankie and Senior Pink. Again, that camaraderie that they're kind of like developing here is like one of them has to win, but in under certain different circumstances, we probably could have been friends. But this is where we're at. So
Right.
yes, I mean after like all this, does this like change how you guys feel about Senior Pink at all, or like I'm not sure like if you had a positive or negative opinion on the character in general, but does this backstory have any sway one way or the other?
I thought it was fun the whole time. Now I just feel for him even more. So I guess it intensified. Before I was fascinated with him. Now I like him
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, same. I think it's changed my opinion for the better.
yeah.
And I also feel like Frankie was the right, like you said, it was like Frankie was the right person to be in this conflict, and like it's cool seeing how Frankie I think saw a little bit of himself in this person and showed this person respect, even though they stood in the way of him achieving his goal.
Yeah. Personally, this makes me like Senior Pink more. There are parts of Senior Pink I didn't like, but I always found Senior Pink to be a very entertaining character. But this does make him feel more likable to me, and I do feel bad for him. He's not like a nice character, but I do think this is actually like really well told. To me, this adds to Senior Pink as a character, so I think it makes me feel more positive about him. But I do know that he's a character that is a little controversial, just in general. So, yeah, this makes me it makes me like him more. All right, but with all that, do you guys have any final thoughts for the chapter or the volume as a whole?
Dressrosa is crushing it. Yeah, I want more. I want more
keep
law.
putting these pieces together. I do miss
Give me
that.
more.
It's
Give
a
me
week
more
without law.
law. Yeah, more law. That's all. That's all I got.
I think we need
law.
more Luffy.
Who?
Yeah, Luffy too.
Law's the main character
no.
now. Let's be honest. Evan said it earlier. He was right.
I mean, it's kind of true. I'm very excited though to see the conclusion of this arc, because it's just like keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I love that. And
Yeah.
like we've got so many characters now, and like we were talking about, like Oda really gave a lot of time to all of these characters and kept all of these kept juggling all of these characters from the Colosseum and throughout the whole plot, and the Tontattas, and like everyone, the Don Quixotes, and like I'm just impressed that he's kept all the plates spinning. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, and did you realize that we were 75 chapters in?
No, that's insane.
Crazy.
But surely we're close to the end, right?
You would think, but
Do you
are we
have
gonna get a backstory for all of the Don Quixotes?
Evan, do you have any predictions for how long this arc's going to be?
Ooh, well, the fact that you're asking me means that we're probably not that close. I'm gonna take a random guess and say we're at 75.
Yeah, 75 chapters in so far.
I think it's gonna be chapters. 75 chapters.
If you don't have a guess, that's fine.
I think it's probably gonna be like another couple manga. So maybe like maybe 3 more manga, which would be another 30.
Like volume 80.
Yeah.
Because this is
I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be 2 to 3 more manga, however many chapters that would be.
Okay.
So I guess that would be in like 20 to 30, probably.
Okay.
Range.
Yeah, we'll see.
So we'll say
Place your bets,
90,
folks.
95 to 100.
Okay. Just curious. Yeah, I think a lot of my thoughts have already been brought up here, so I don't want to go on too much longer. But yeah, I did enjoy these sequence of chapters, and I thought they were fun. You got to see, Cavendish, Bartolomeo, Senior Pink, Frankie, Mancherry. There's a lot of fun stuff in this part of the volume.
Yeah.
And I like the way that Dressrosa is going, and there's some cool stuff coming up. So I'm very excited for the next volume. But I'm going to leave it at that. Cody, anything else from you?
No, y'all said it. I'm just so excited to see how things keep coalescing and see how all these different points that we land at, what it's all going to look like in the end when we have the bird's eye view.
Yep. I'll have to ask Viola.
Yeah.
All right, but for now, that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We're Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on our YouTube channel at We're Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel to where we record the podcast. If you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Barking Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at we'readingonepiece@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners, so if you're enjoying the show or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be starting Volume 78, Champion of Evil. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Evan.
Thanks for listening.
And Cody.
Let's baby.
All right. Well, be sure to bring on all of your hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.